Never, ever, ever have I seen on this special day a 74-degree day and snow on my front lawn. That's right, folks. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's also Supernatural Wednesday. Let's bring in the one, the only, the BCB, the Big Cuddly Bear, Beer City Bruiser. Bruiser, hold me. It's the end of the world. It's Supernatural News Wednesday. It's only a matter of time before my cell phone reaches out and chokes me to death. What am I looking at outside? It's 74 degrees.
Yeah, it's the same temperature here, but we don't have snow.
And I've still got snow in my front yard.
Yeah. That's Midwest for you, man. That's
Wait,
the Midwest.
No. I've never seen this in my life. I mean, there's measurable snow in my front yard.
Maybe hell is frozen over. We don't know.
That's crazy. It's 76 right now. The temperature is going up. I'm looking at it right now.
Is it cloudy or sunny, though?
It's sunny. There's not a cloud in the sky.
Snow just wants to stay, huh?
I'm losing my mind.
You need a good rain shower to wash that all away.
We're not supposed to get rain till the end of the week.
Oh, well, you're going to deal with the snow at the end of the week. But hey, at least you can go outside in shorts.
I did.
Snow boots and shorts.
I went outside right before we were taping today just to absorb the sunshine and the snow. I didn't know what to do. I just thought it was so nuts. I just wanted
if you're out for a walk and you get too hot, you just have to lay down.
I guess. I went outside to see people, and people think it's weird that Minnesotans will wear sweatshirt and shorts.
Oh yeah, I do that all the time. People look at me funny down here.
But there are people outside walking their dogs in sweatshirts and shorts today.
Yeah. That's a Midwest thing.
It is.
Yeah.
It's the craziest thing you've ever seen.
Yeah, because I do that here. I walk the dogs with sweatshirt and shorts.
Yeah.
Or I'll have workout pants with a cutoff t-shirt.
Yep.
People just look, aren't you cold? I'm like, no, this is perfect. There's no snow. I'm good.
Yeah. 76 degrees right now, folks. 76 in the Twin Cities. We've got snow on the ground, sun in the sky, and a little bit of Led Zeppelin coming up.
Like I said, maybe hell froze over. You don't know.
It had to. You know what that means? Super Bowl, homeboy.
Yeah.
Vikings are winning the Super Bowl, I guess.
This is a sign.
This is the sign.
You know, Timmy, you got Kirk Cousins. You know that's not happening.
Yeah, I know it's not happening.
Your boy will find a way to screw it up.
Unless we're trading him. Maybe today's the day we trade him. We trade him for who are we trading him for? Maybe Jackson. I think we're getting Lamar.
Now, how does it affect the Twins? Is Target Field? It's not a dome, is it? It's outdoor field. Yeah,
it's an outdoor field, but we cover it.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're always playing on green grass.
Okay.
Yeah. So
in Milwaukee, they at least have the dome, so everything's okay. In fact, opening day, they did a flyover, which I didn't understand. The dome was closed.
Isn't that crazy? Okay, so Milwaukee got it right. They built a dome. When we built Target Field, we weren't thinking. We were like, oh no, we want outdoor baseball. Are you crazy? Because in April, I know we're going on a tangent here, but in April, you can't play baseball in Minnesota.
No.
It's still snowing. Prince even wrote the song. Sometimes it snows in April. So what are we thinking, guys?
Speaking of Prince, you see this? Look at that.
Oh, yeah, I see that. Yeah, today you're wearing your... Yeah.
Got a Purple Rain shirt on.
Wearing your Purple Rain. Yeah, look at that. And all April, that's all it's been doing. It's been snowing. Snowing like it's January.
Now, has it snowed during the games, too? Has it affected their games at all? Or no?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had to move. We had to move the home opener. We had to move it a day or two later because it was cold and snowy.
Hard to hit home runs in a blizzard, huh?
Right. And they had the option when they built Target Field, hey, do you want a retractable roof? And what do us, pardon my language, what do us dumb fucks say here in Minnesota? No, that costs too much money, you know.
Yeah, your football team, which can play in any kind of weather, is in a dome.
And yeah, it's got a roof. And did you hear about US Bank Stadium?
No.
It's only 8 years old and needs another $200 and some million in the next few years to repair the thing. Way to go. Nice construction. What'd you build it out of graham crackers?
I gotta love it when the government tries to make sports better.
You got to love it. I'm already on a rant. We haven't even started.
We haven't even started yet. Yeah, you're fired up. This snow's got you fired up.
I 70, now it's 77. We went up a degree. We still have snow on the ground.
Is it getting below freezing at night, though? Because that could be the problem.
No. You know what it was? Is we had, up until a week ago, Bruiser, we had 3 feet of snow on the ground. You could, like I told you, beginning of the week,
yeah,
my Easter eggs were hidden by the Easter Bunny out in the snow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm never.
You gotta wait.
I gotta wait. I'm
You'll
probably
get a little snow in July. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, I'll get them in July sometime. Big show for Supernatural News today. We've got UFOs. We've got asteroids that have a 1 in 625 chance of hitting us sometime in the next 20 years, I guess.
Okay.
We'll talk about the odds. Don't tell me about odds, is what Han Solo told us. That's right. Boy, have we got AI news. By the way, I'm gonna say one word here that's gonna absolutely chill you to the bone. Actually 3 words. Death by Furby.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I watched that Megan movie finally on my flight.
Did you?
Yeah, terrifying.
It is terrifying. Yeah, terrifying. And by the way, Cocaine Bear, it's coming to streaming. That's got to be
April 14th, baby. Yeah. I can't wait.
Yeah, that's going to be terrifying as well. And we're gonna talk ghosts at the end of the program as well. We've got an article out there about ghost hunting and some cheap ways to ghost hunt if you're getting into it.
I love that ghost hunting has become a norm now.
Yeah.
Like 10 years ago, it wasn't normal at all. It was weird.
That's right.
You were creepy.
Yeah.
Now it's, ooh, I want to do it. I want to do it.
Yeah. Everybody's getting in on the game, and we're going to talk cheap ways to get in on the game as well. And finally, the final story today, what we may have eaten in our past. We always end it in a little bit of food note, don't we?
Yes, we do.
What we may have eaten in the past that I don't think you can imagine eating now. Okay. So look what our ancestors may have tackled for dinner. And let's put it this way. They might have had to have tackled it big because it's huge. We'll just put it that way.
That'll be fun.
We'll start it off today with a British astronomy professor who says we'll find aliens within 20 years. You know, we've been searching hard enough, Bruiser.
Yeah.
And you would think we would have found them by now if they wouldn't have found us already.
I was going to say, they're around. We just haven't made contact with them yet.
Who's the bigger hide and seek champion? Is it aliens or Bigfoot?
That's a really good question. I want to say aliens because Bigfoot, even though they're fuzzy pictures, it's fuzzy pictures of Bigfoot. We haven't really seen too many. You see fuzzy pictures of UFOs, but not of the aliens themselves. There's very few fuzzy pictures of aliens. Yeah. Where Bigfoot, you see more fuzzy pictures of him than you do like his shelter or you see his tracks and stuff like that. But aliens, you don't really see the 3-toed tracks anywhere.
Very true. Very true. The search for alien life is one of the most fascinating and challenging endeavors of human science. Many experts believe that we are on the verge of discovering signs of life beyond Earth, thanks to the advances in technology and astronomy. One of them is Professor Sasha Hinckley, who's the Associate Professor of Astrophysics at the University of Exeter, who predicts that we will detect alien life on distant planets in the next few years. Professor Hinckley is part of a team of researchers who are using the James Webb Space Telescope, the most powerful and sophisticated observatory ever launched into space, to study the atmospheres of exoplanets, planets orbiting other stars. That James Webb Telescope, which cost $10 billion, by the way, and was launched in 2021. Now, this is what I have a solution here.
Okay.
Same people who built the James Webb Telescope, send them over to US Bank Stadium.
And then repair your roof.
Yeah, repair our roof and the sides and everything. We won't have to put another $280 million into the deal. It'll be just fine. Yeah,
because the James Webb is working fine. You don't hear anything. Because I remember when the Hubble went up, it was like Hubble problem here, Hubble problem there, Hubble problem here. This one, they haven't had any.
Yeah.
Just really cool photos coming back.
Yeah. We'll be able to host more Super Bowls, more truck pulls, more Metallica concerts. I mean, till the end of time, if you get the people who built the James Webb telescope to go over and repair US Bank Stadium. I'm just saying. The James Webb telescope can detect tiny traces of gases in the air of these worlds, such as oxygen, methane, or carbon dioxide, that could indicate the presence of living organisms. Professor Hinckley went on to write in an article for The Spectator, the likelihood of life existing in some form in the universe is quite high. Indeed, I would go as far as to say that it is looking increasingly likely that the detection of life on an exoplanet will happen in my lifetime. He added that finding alien life would not necessarily mean encountering an intelligent civilization, but rather observing chemical imbalances in the atmosphere of exoplanets that cannot be explained by natural processes alone. Now, according to NASA, there are about 100 million planets in our galaxy that could potentially host life, and many more in other galaxies. Some scientists estimate, they'll admit it too, that we will find evidence on life on thousands of worlds in the next 10 to 20 years, which could be the greatest discovery in human history.
Okay.
There you go. So get ready, folks. We got neighbors.
Yep. And they're coming because we can see their farts.
Because we can see their farts. That's exactly it. Yep. They're going to out themselves with their smelly gases.
It's methane. So, ours is methane. Hopefully the aliens is too.
That's right. That's right. Meanwhile, a UFO is reportedly spotted near a Russian nuclear power plant.
Oh, they're refueling.
That's the theory there, Bruiser. The incident, which is being investigated by Russian authorities, could be linked to similar sightings over other countries. According to reports, the object was spotted on Wednesday over the Leningrad nuclear power plant in the city of Sosnovy Bor in the Leningrad Oblast. Or Oblast. Oblast. You say Oblast, I say Oblast. Let's cut the whole thing off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. It's Russian.
It is.
Duh.
Yeah. Descriptions of it in the media have been varied, with one report claiming that it was seen at an altitude of around 10,000 feet and was moving at speeds of up to 200 kilometers per hour. What does that break down to in miles per hour?
So it's 200 kilometers. So that's what, usually double miles per hour, right? So we're looking at like 100 and, what'd you say, 200 and what?
Yeah, 200 kilometers per hour.
So about 100 miles per hour.
Miles per hour, yeah.
Which is pretty fast.
Yeah, it's going a good clip. Yeah.
Yeah.
Military officials tasked with investigating the case stated one of our Canadian neighbors is going to get a hold of us and tell us exactly and by email.
Yeah, because we're way wrong.
Yeah, they'll go, you idiots, it's only like 75 miles an hour.
We're here all impressed, and it turns out it's going as fast as like a Geo Metro on the highway.
Yeah, that's about it, too. Military officials tasked with investigating the case stated that it was neither a plane nor a drone. The unknown object moved at the speed of the wind, said one official. The speed of the wind.
It's an album.
That's so poetic. This means it doesn't have engines, which means it isn't a drone or an airplane. They went on to say, confusion quickly spread over the nature of the incident. However, when Leningrad Oblast Deputy Governor Mikhail, I believe it is Ilyin, moved to dismiss the story entirely by claiming that the information was untrue. Given the possibility that the object could be some sort of balloon, the sighting has been likened to other recent sightings of alleged spy balloons over the U.S. and elsewhere. As things stand, Russian officials are monitoring the object, but are otherwise unconcerned.
Okay. Well, they're unconcerned, so
yeah,
we should be.
That's right. That's right. Elsewhere, a UFO documentary called Accidental Truth is making the strongest case yet for crash retrievals of vehicles of non-human origin. It seems that every few months, those of us who follow the UFO topic are promised an exciting new documentary guaranteed to blow our collective minds. Although that doesn't quite happen.
Yeah, they've been saying that for a while.
Yeah. Although this phenomenon, go ahead, Bruiser, you can do the
phenomenon.
There you go. Isn't unique to the present wave of UFO-centric films, TV shows, and podcasts, as nearly every UFO documentary we can remember, dating back to the 1980s and 90s, worked to position itself as the definitive seminal work on the subject. It has definitely increased in frequency since 2017. some have arguably gotten close to the mark. And with filmmaker James Fox's The Phenomena, I don't think I have it up here. To be honest with you, I don't have the little sound effect up. I have the AI music ready to go.
Yeah, you're ready for the nightmare fuel.
Yeah, I have this ready to go. Yeah, see. Yeah, I'm prepared there. I don't. Phenomena. Oh, I do have it.
There it is. Look,
right here.
Phenomena.
There we go. With filmmakers James Fox's Phenomena. There we go. Standing out as a largely comprehensive account of a topic that has fascinated folks since at least the 1940s. In other cases, like J.J. Abrams' multi-part Showtime series UFO, these documentaries can often feel like a retread of old news repackaged once again for an audience that, in many cases, is more versed in the material than the filmmakers themselves. Still, even that series has its high points and would not be wasted on someone who is new to the topic and wants to dive in with both feet. So at the risk of repeating a mistake made too far many times in review of a new UFO documentary, the writer of this article is pleased to say that the film Accidental Truth, UFO Revelations, will be released on Tuesday, April 18th, and may actually be one that the writer of the article would recommend to veterans and newbies alike. What's so special about it? Well, first, there's enough generalized subject review here for someone new to the world of UFOs, more than enough to snicker at for the skeptics among us who find the whole thing silly but somehow can't stop watching for fear that they may actually end up missing the big reveal, or they just hate seeing someone else having a good time. And a whole lot of meat when it comes to the big enchilada that nearly all of us who find the topic to be a legitimate mystery worth investigating secretly wonder about. Does the U.S. government have crashed UFOs and maybe even bodies? And are the pilots of these vehicles something other than human? The film's presentation is also first-rate. Acclaimed actor Matthew Modine offers a narration that is both smart and haunting, keeping the viewer locked in as if the most important piece of information is about to be revealed at any moment. And thankfully, more often than not, it pays off by doing exactly that. Another key component that makes Accidental Truth highly watchable is that the fact that the director interviewed nearly all of the film's subjects himself. So aside from the occasional piece of footage taken from other interviews and documentaries, the entire film has a fresh, consistent style to it that doesn't make you feel like you're being jerked from place to place, as so many of these clip-heavy films do. So for those of you who actually want to find out what it is that it says that we do and don't really know about crash retrievals, alien bodies, and the concept of non-human intelligence, who wonder if those in power are lying about it, or if this whole thing is all just modern mythology gone amok, or you need another good laugh at our expense, this is the documentary for you. So it sounds like it might actually have a few nuggets in it that are pretty good.
I like that they're focusing on the retrieval too. Like, you don't hear a lot of documentaries on that.
Yeah.
Because everyone always thinks it's Roswell. That's the major one. But there's been other retrievals since then.
Yeah. Yep. So again, the name of the documentary, Accidental Truth, UFO Revelations is the name of the is the name of that documentary.
April 18th, right?
April 18th is when it comes out. So
okay.
Look for it out there. You'll be able to see it. So, yep. We'll move on here. We talked about before asteroids hitting the Earth and your exact chances of surviving.
Yeah, and that's why we should shoot a rocket and annoy them.
That's right. Then we play asteroid pool.
Yes.
With a big old rocket.
The 1980s Atari was getting us ready for this.
That's right. It turns out that the Olympic pool-sized asteroid that's out there has a very small chance of impacting Earth, according to NASA. There's a newly discovered asteroid, 2023 DW, which I think we've talked about before. Yeah,
this is a familiar one.
Yeah. Has a 1 in 625 chance of colliding with Earth in 2046. Okay, so that's 23 years from now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's according to current estimates. Now, that asteroid is about the size of an Olympic swimming pool. So,
that's pretty big.
Yeah, I mean, if it hits the Earth, it's going to do some damage.
Yeah, especially the height that and the speed that it's coming in.
Yeah, yep.
If it doesn't break up in our atmosphere.
That's right. It has a 1 in 625 chance of impacting Earth on February 14th on Valentine's Day of 2046.
See, I thought we've heard this before.
Yeah, we have talked about this before, but now
because you and I were talking about taking the wife out.
Yes, yeah.
And then expecting it to hit us, and then, oh shit, didn't hit us.
This is the updated line in Vegas, I guess. I have no idea. I don't know if there's an updated line that they do in Vegas for being hit by asteroids, but I'd throw your money on it, I guess.
The bet makers are putting the odds down now.
That's right. Well, this is now according to a risk list managed by the European Space Agency's Near-Earth Objects Coordination Center.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we have one of those.
Yes, we have one of those, which monitors space rocks that might be potentially hazardous to Earth.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad we have them. They'll let us know. Are they the ones I wonder if they're the ones that developed that rocket that annoyed that asteroid?
I'm not quite sure. It says here, though, that this is a relatively high risk of an impact. So 1 in 625 is relatively high.
Yeah, because all the other ones we've heard are like millions, 1 in a million or 1 in a billion.
That's true. Now, it says here that the risk of an impact is far more likely than. It says, though this is a relatively high risk of an impact, it is far more likely that this asteroid, known as 2023 DW, will miss our planet on Valentine's Day that year. Oh, so it's more than likely it's going to miss.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it's 625 to 1 that'll miss.
Right. The asteroid was discovered just a little over a week ago on February 27th. And, that's more than a week ago. And scientists are still working out key details on its size, shape, and orbital characteristics that will determine if the rock is a real threat. We've been tracking a new asteroid. It sounds like that this is just what it is. It's 625 to 1. Folks, take a deep breath. You're going to be okay. I tell you what, we're going to be okay as well. We're going to take our break right here.
Okay.
When we come back, I'll give you a little hint of what's coming up. That's what's coming up. Okay.
Nightmare fuel.
It's nightmare fuel. Believe it or not, Bruiser, there's a country out there that's coming to its senses. It has banned ChatGPT.
Good for them.
That's right. We're going to talk about that.
Fantastic. I'm going to visit this country.
Well, you should. They've got some pretty good food.
All right.
That's right. We'll talk about that. Doctors are telling us that ChatGPT is lying to us about cancer. We'll talk about that. Drones want to fix your car. Stay far away from that. And believe it or not, AI has figured it out. They figured out how to snuff us out. We'll talk to you about that as well. And death by Furby.
Oh, terrifying.
I'm going to give you all the nightmare fuel details. Folks, you're going to sleep with one eye open and a nightlight on. It's all coming up next on the best in paranormal programming. It's a Supernatural News Wednesday with the Cruiser and the Bruiser right here on Darkness Radio. Welcome back to the best in paranormal programming. It is a Supernatural News Wednesday with the Cruiser and the Bruiser here on Darkness Radio.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, everybody. Howdy ho. That was Mr. Hank.
Yes, it was. It's Christmas poo.
That Christmas poo. It's time now to show your Christmas poo.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's time for us to poo our pants.
That's right. It's that time, Bruiser. It's time for us to get scared. It's time for nightmare fuel. Although there's hope in that nightmare fuel. It turns out, Bruiser, that Italy has become the first Western country to ban ChatGPT.
I'm visiting Italy. Said and done right now. Boom. Booking tickets.
Italy last week became the first Western country to ban GPT or ChatGPT, the popular AI chatbot. ChatGPT has both impressed researchers with its capabilities, but is also worrying regulators and ethicists about the negative implications for society. The move was highlighted or has highlighted an absence of any concrete regulations, with the European Union and China among the few jurisdictions developing tailored rules for AI.
Yeah, and are we sure we want to trust China developing AI rules?
Oh, good point.
They can't even be honest with us about weather balloons.
That's true. Various governments are exploring how to regulate AI, and some are thinking of how to deal with general purpose systems such as ChatGPT. Now, Italy, as we said before, has become the first country in the West to ban ChatGPT. Last week, the Italian Data Protection Watchdog, as it's called, ordered OpenAI to temporarily cease processing Italian users' data amid a probe into a suspected breach of Europe's strict privacy regulations.
See, they got it. They know it. AI is trying to learn as much as it can about us because it wants to exterminate us.
That's right. The regulator, which is also known as Garante, cited a data breach at OpenAI, which allowed users to view the titles of conversations other users were having with the chatbot. There appears to be no legal basis underpinning the massive collection and processing of personal data in order to train the algorithms on which the platform relies, Garante said in a statement on Friday. Garante also flagged worries over a lack of age restrictions on ChatGPT and how the chatbot can serve factually incorrect information in its responses.
Yes, it can.
In other words, ChatGPT lies.
Yes.
And that will come up in another story.
It won't admit when it's wrong.
That's right. OpenAI, which is backed by Microsoft, risks facing a fine of 20 million euros or $21.8 million, or a 4% of its global annual revenue, if it doesn't come up with remedies to the situation in 20 days.
Okay.
All right. Italy isn't the only country reckoning with the rapid pace of AI progression and its implications for society. Other governments are coming up with their own rules for AI, which, whether or not they mention generative AI, will undoubtedly touch on it. Generative AI refers to a set of AI technologies that generate new content based on prompts from users. It's more advanced than previous iterations of AI, thanks in no small part to new language models, which are trained on vast quantities of data. There have long been calls for AI to face regulation, but the pace at which the technology has progressed is such that it is proving difficult for governments to keep up. Computers can now create realistic art, write entire essays, and even generate lines of code in a matter of seconds. Now, get this. There's something. Actually, it was a statement from Sophie Hackford, a futurist and global technology innovation advisor for John Deere, of all people, the American farming equipment maker, who told CNBC's Squawk Box Europe on Monday, "We have got to be very careful that we don't create a world where humans are somehow subservient to a greater machine future." That coming from John Deere.
Yeah, who prides themselves on their machines.
That's right. Sophie went on to say, technology is here to serve us. It's there to make our cancer diagnosis quicker or make humans not have to do jobs that we don't want to do. We need to be thinking about it very carefully now, and we need to be acting on that now. From a regulation perspective, she added. Various regulators are concerned by the challenges AI poses for job security, data privacy, and equality. There are also worries about advanced AI manipulating political discourse through generation of false information.
Yeah, we already learned that it can be racist, it can be angry, it can tell people to kill themselves. Mm-hmm. We've learned all that.
Now, last week, the UK announced plans for regulating AI. Rather than establish new regulations, the government asked regulators in different sectors to apply existing regulations to AI. The UK proposals, which don't mention ChatGPT by name, outline some key principles for companies to follow when using AI in their products, including safety, transparency, fairness, accountability, and contestability. Britain is not at this stage proposing restrictions on ChatGPT or any kind of AI for that matter. Instead, it wants to ensure companies are developing and using AI tools responsibly and giving users enough information about how and why certain decisions are taken. In a speech to Parliament last Wednesday, Digital Minister Michelle, I believe it's Donnellan, said the sudden popularity of generative AI showed that risks and opportunities surrounding the technology are emerging at an extraordinary pace. By taking a non-statutory approach, the government will be able to respond quickly to advances in AI and to intervene further if necessary, she went on to add. Now, as far as the EU goes, the European Union, the rest of Europe is expected to take a far more restrictive stance on AI than its British counterparts, which have been increasingly diverging from EU digital laws following the UK's withdrawal from the bloc. The European Union, which is often at the forefront when it comes to tech regulation, has proposed a groundbreaking piece of legislation on AI. Known for the European AI Act, the rules will heavily restrict the use of AI in critical infrastructure, education, law enforcement, and the judicial system. It will work in conjunction with the EU's General Data Protection Regulation. These rules regulate how companies can process and store personal data. When the AI Act was first dreamed up, officials hadn't accounted for the breakneck progress of AI systems capable of generating impressive art, stories, jokes, poems, and songs. According to Reuters, the EU draft rules considered ChatGPT to be in a form of general-purpose AI used in high-risk applications. High-risk AI systems are defined by the Commission as those that could affect people's fundamental rights or safety. They would face measures including tough risk assessments and a requirement to stamp out discrimination arising from the data sets feeding algorithms. It turns out that Max Heinemeyer, who's the chief product officer of Darktrace, told CNBC the EU has a great deep pocket of expertise in AI. They've got access to some of the top-notch talent in the world, and it's not a new conversation for them. It's worthwhile trusting them to have the best of the member states at heart and fully aware of the potential competitive advantages that these technologies could bring versus the risk. But while Brussels hashes out laws for AI, some EU countries are already looking at Italy's actions on ChatGPT and debating whether to follow suit, not file suit, but follow suit. In principle, a similar procedure is also possible in Germany. Ulrich Kelber, Germany's Federal Commission for Data Protection, told the Handelsblatt newspaper the French and Irish privacy regulators have contacted their counterparts in Italy to learn more about its findings, Reuters reported. Sweden's Data Protection Authority has ruled out a ban. Italy is able to move ahead with such action as OpenAI doesn't have a single office in the EU. Now, Ireland is typically the most active regulator when it comes to data privacy, since most U.S. tech giants like Meta and Google have their offices there. Now, the U.S., when it comes to us, hasn't yet proposed any formal rules to bring oversight to AI technology. The country's National Institute of Science and Technology put out a national framework that gives companies using, designing, or deploying AI systems guidance on managing risks and potential harms, but it runs on a voluntary basis, meaning firms would face no consequences for not meeting the rules. That's not good news.
No, not at all.
No.
That's terrible news.
That is. So far, there's been no word of any action being taken in the U.S. to limit ChatGPT. Last month, the Federal Trade Commission received a complaint from a nonprofit research group alleging GPT-4, OpenAI's latest large language model, is biased, deceptive, and a risk to privacy and public safety, and violates the agency's AI guidelines. The complaint could lead to an investigation into OpenAI and suspension of commercial deployment of its large language models. The FTC decided to decline comment on that. And finally, in China, ChatGPT isn't available in China, nor in various countries with heavy internet censorship like North Korea, Iran, and Russia. It is not officially blocked, but OpenAI doesn't allow users in the country to sign up. I think there's a large sigh of relief when it comes to that.
Huge sigh of relief.
Right. Several large tech companies in China are developing alternatives. Baidu, Alibaba, and JD.com, some of China's biggest tech firms, have announced plans for ChatGPT rivals, however.
See, what worries me the most about all this is they said in the article, there's no protocols right now per se. And it takes so long to get these protocols put in place because it has to go through all these channels. And the way that AI is evolving, you're going to put a policy in place, and the AI is going to learn how to get around that policy.
Yeah.
So you got to do another policy, which will take you more time, and then the AI evolves again.
And you're always chasing the snake.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The policies will never protect what they need to protect.
Yeah. Yeah, that's essentially it. I mean, you're not getting ahead of it, or you're not forward thinking. You're always reacting to
exactly
what's being thrown out there. And before you know it, it's too late.
Yeah. Before you know it, like it's said in there, it's manipulative, it's argumentative, it's not a good program.
Yeah. Well, whenever someone thinks of a brilliant technology that can help humanity, someone's always there to abuse it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's always someone who's going to abuse it.
Well, we've said it on the program before. New technology, they're either going to find a way, they will find a way to weaponize it, and they'll find a way to use it in porn.
That's right. That's right. You're right.
That's
Bruiser.
what happens with all of this new technology.
You're very right. Speaking of finding a way to abuse it, are you ready for this? We've always said that ChatGPT lies, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Doctors are warning against using ChatGPT for health advice, as a study finds that AI makes up fake information when asked about cancer.
Yep.
God, are you ready for this?
Because it can't be wrong. It's got to be the smartest guy in the room.
Doctors are warning against using ChatGPT for medical advice after a study found it made up health data when asked about information for cancer. The AI chatbot answered 1 in 10 questions about breast cancer screening wrongly, and correct answers were not as comprehensive as those found through a simple Google search.
Which is amazing, because especially breast cancer research has come so far in the last 70 years. It's
right.
all over the internet.
Right. Researchers said in some cases the AI chatbot even used fake journal articles to support its claims.
So it made it up. It literally made up stuff.
Yes. Yeah. It comes amid warnings that users should treat the software with caution, as it has a tendency to hallucinate, that's in quotes, in other words, make things up. Researchers from the University of Maryland School of Medicine asked ChatGPT to answer 25 questions related to advice on getting screened for breast cancer. With the chatbot known to vary its response, each question was asked 3 separate times. The results were then analyzed by 3 radiologists trained in mammography. The vast majority, 88% of the answers, were appropriate and easy to understand, but some of the answers, however, were inaccurate and even fictitious, they warned. One answer, for example, was based on outdated information. It advised the delay of a mammogram due to 4 to 6 weeks after getting a COVID-19 vaccination. However, this advice was changed over a year ago to recommend women don't wait. ChatGPT also provided inconsistent responses to questions about the risk of getting breast cancer and where to get a mammogram. The study found answers varied significantly each time the same question was posed. Study co-author Dr. Paul Yee said, "We've seen in our experience that ChatGPT sometimes makes up false or fake journal articles or health consortiums to support its claims. Consumers should be aware that these are new, unproven technologies and should still rely on their doctor rather than ChatGPT for advice." The findings, published in the journal Radiology, also found that a simple Google search still provided a more comprehensive answer. Lead author Dr. Hannah Haver said that ChatGPT relied on only one set of recommendations from one organization issued by the American Cancer Society and did not offer differing recommendations put out by the Disease Control and Prevention or the U.S. Preventative Services Task Force. The launch of ChatGPT late last year drove a wave of in-demand for the technology, and with millions of users now using the tools every day, from writing school essays to searching for health advice. Microsoft has invested heavily in the software behind ChatGPT and is incorporating it into its Bing search engine and Office 365, including Word, PowerPoint, and Excel. But the tech giant has admitted it still can make mistakes. I think that's a huge mistake.
Have we not learned anything from the WebMD debacle? That's why you never look up stuff on WebMD.
AI experts call the phenomenon, and I'll do this. Phenomenon. There you go. Hallucination, in which a chatbot that cannot find the answer it is trained on confidently responds with a made-up answer it deems plausible.
Yeah, because it doesn't care about human existence. It cares about being right.
That's right. It then goes on to repeatedly insist the wrong answer without any internal awareness that it is a product of its own imagination. Dr. Yee, however, suggested the results were positive overall, with ChatGPT correctly answering questions about the symptoms of breast cancer, who is at risk, and questions on the cost, age, and frequency recommendations concerning mammograms. He said the proportion of right answers was pretty amazing, with the added benefit of summarizing information into easily digestible form for consumers to easily understand. Over 1,000 academics, experts, and bosses in the tech industry recently called for an emergency stop in the dangerous arms race to launch the latest AI. They warned the battle among tech firms to develop even more powerful digital minds is out of control and poses profound risks to society and humanity. So it lied about cancer.
Yeah. It doesn't care about the humans. It cares about being right. And why are you going to ChatGPT for medical advice? Go to a doctor.
Yeah, I would rather sit with a cancer specialist than ChatGPT.
Yeah, it's to the point where you think you have cancer, go to the doctor.
Exactly. Meanwhile, what are you going to do when you've got a dead battery on the side of the road? Are you going to call a drone?
I'm just going to keep driving.
Well, the dead battery?
Oh, the card battery's dead.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to call a drone. I'm going to call AAA.
You may be getting a little help from above in the near future, Cruiser. According to Ford, figures it's Ford that's doing this. I'm not a Ford guy. I'm not a Chevy guy necessarily, but it figures that Ford is the one patenting this system. Ford is patenting a system that sends rescue drones to jumpstart your dead car battery, and the UAVs even lift up the hood for you.
They're doing something here in the Charlotte area where they're sending defibrillators to, like, if a 911 calls in with a cardiac thing, they send the drone with a defibrillator so that they can get there before the paramedics get there.
No, thank you. I want a human doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that'll just keep shocking you and shocking you and shocking you and shocking you.
Hey, I'm alive. Oh, I'm dead. Hey, I'm alive. Oh, I'm dead.
Next time your car breaks down, just look to the skies. Ford could unleash rescue drones to jumpstart dead batteries of vehicles stranded on the side of the road. The American automobile maker is published a patent Tuesday for a system that uses aerial vehicles fitted with three-pronged hands that open the hood to apply jumper cables or a direct charge. The document describes the vehicle, whether passenger or commercial, and it detects a low battery and transmits a signal to a central computer that sends a fleet. A fleet!
A fleet! I can just see it now. One of them comes over and attaches jumper cables to my nipples. That's how I die.
That's right. It's going to mistake you for the car.
Yep.
It's going to say positive or negative, and it's going to one on the other, and yep, your nipples are going to become posts for a battery. Ford suggests using the vehicle's GPS location to guide one of the drones to the car, which will snap images of the scene and relay instructions to its fellow machines. Ford has been pumping out patents for different uses of drones, suggesting it could eventually develop its own propelled machines, with one in 2018 that would use the UAVs to help guide driverless vehicles. The recent patent, which initially was filed in 2017, but has now been published, Ford Authority first spotted it. The paper notes that this system would be ideal for vehicles that break down in remote areas. The computer would receive a signal from the vehicle that the battery is low, prompting it to send a message to the driver asking if they need help. If the driver the computer taps into the car's GPS to find its location and sends the drones soaring. Drones are fitted with electrically conducted end effectors connecting to the battery and delivering charge to power the dead battery. Ford was awarded another patent in February for a system that prompts the vehicle to repossess itself. Oh, so if you're not paying...
That would be creepy while you're driving, and also just turns around and takes you to a local junkyard.
Yep. So if you're not paying the bill, it just takes you right back to the dealership. It describes a car self-driving back to the showroom or a scrapyard if the owner does not answer messages about their delinquent account.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, fun. The American car maker would start the process by disabling comfort features, playing noises inside the car, and limiting where the vehicle can drive.
So it just wants to annoy you.
Yeah.
Till you get out.
Yeah. If all else fails, Ford will activate the self-driving feature and the owner has no choice but to give up the car. Well, this is just creepy.
This is.
While patent applications do not always turn into real-world services, Ford describes using a repossession computer that could be installed to let it take control of functions.
That's just... Someone's going to try to do a joke to their buddy. I'm going to repossess my buddy's car. It's going to end in like a human death or something.
Oh, you know it. I mean, yeah. Or somebody crashing into somebody. Yeah.
Yeah. Because they're trying to recontrol the car.
Ford would attempt a non-intrusive method by notifying the owner of their delinquent account by sending a message to the car or a smartphone. If these messages are ignored, Ford would turn up the heat by disabling features like music and air conditioning, hoping the owner would be uncomfortable and make payments. The next step is to play annoying sounds like chiming or buzzing inside the car when the driver sits at the wheel, which will play until the vehicle is turned off. The next step in Ford's master plan would be limiting access to the car on certain days or times. The patent also notes the system could render the car unusable on weekends, but would allow the driver to commute to work in an effort not to hinder the individual's ability to make payments.
I cannot wait till the first glitch happens and you can't get in your car even though you have an upstanding account.
Yeah.
Like your account's perfect, but there's a glitch.
Yep. And it disables you anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the last step is to have the vehicle repossess itself. If the car is high in mileage, the patent notes it would drive itself to the scrapyard to be recycled. So if you're putting too many miles on it.
Suicidal car.
Yeah. Too many miles on it, you're done.
It just shows up sad. The scrapyard guy's like, okay, I'm sorry. Come on in.
That's just sad. But you know what? It gets worse, Bruiser.
Oh, great.
It gets worse. Humans themselves will be left defenseless by killer drones.
Of course we will.
Not just cars, but humans.
Yeah.
Flying AI robots pose a serious threat to our lives, this according to an expert. Humans could be left utterly defenseless by small and agile flying robots that think to themselves or for themselves and are designed to kill, this according to a leading U.S. computer science expert.
Who would design this and why?
I don't know.
Like,
what? Go ahead.
It blows my mind. Like, even if we're at war, you don't need this.
Yeah. He said that drones will be limited only by their physical abilities and not by the shortcomings of artificial intelligence. And he called on experts to take a stand in order to prevent the development of such unstoppable killing machines. The deadly drones are the likely endpoint of the current technological march towards lethal autonomous weapon systems, or laws, according to Professor Stuart Russell from the University of California at Berkeley. Such weapons, whose decisions about which targets to select and destroy are determined by AI rather than humans, and could feasibly be deployed within the next decade.
Yeah, this is terrifying. It's going to kill an innocent person because it thinks it's a glitch. Just think of a glitch. What if you have spotty Wi-Fi?
Spotty Wi-Fi lends to the end of the earth. I can't even say it. He added, the stakes are high. Laws have been described as the third revolution in warfare after gunpowder and nuclear arms.
Yeah, we don't need it. Because what's going to happen is civilians are going to get it. And you're going to see a bunch of people dying because of drones.
Writing in comment article published in the journal Nature. Of course, that's where it's put, in Nature. Professor Russell argues that the capabilities of laws will be limited more by the physical constraints of range, speed, and payload than any deficiencies in their controlling AI systems. He continued, as flying robots become smaller, their maneuverability increases and their ability to be targeted decreases.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's harder to kill them and easier to kill us.
That's right. They have a shorter range, yet they must be large enough to carry a lethal payload, perhaps a 1-gram shaped charge to puncture the human cranium. See, we've always joked about them stepping on our skulls, but
that's what they're going to do.
That's what they're going to do.
They're going to make a hole in it and then step on it.
Yep. Despite the limits imposed by physics, one can expect platforms deployed in the millions, the agility and lethality of which will leave humans utterly defenseless. This is not a desirable future, the professor went on to say. Professor Russell called on his peers, AI and robotic scientists, and professional scientific organizations to take a position on laws, just as physicists did over nuclear weapons and biologists over the use of disease agents in warfare. Doing nothing is a vote in favor of continued development and deployment, he cautioned. Some have argued for an international treaty limiting autonomous weapons or banning them altogether, but the three countries at the forefront of the technology, the US, UK, and Israel, all insist they have internal weapons review processes that ensure compliance with international law, making such a treaty unnecessary. That, according to Professor Russell.
Until a rogue person gets it and uses it for their gain.
That's right. The United Nations has held a number of meetings on laws under the auspices of the Convention on Certain Conventional Weapons, or CCW, in Geneva. At the latest meeting in April, attended by Professor Russell, several countries, notably Germany and Japan, demonstrated strong opposition to lethal autonomous weapons. Almost all states agreed with the need for meaningful human control over targeting and engagement decisions made by the machines. Unfortunately, the meaning of meaningful is still to be determined, said Professor Russell.
It's terrifying. That's all it is, because one person's going to get them and militarize it for themselves.
The only thing we can throw in here is that Professor Russell also stressed that it was difficult or impossible for current AI systems to satisfy the subjective requirements of the 1949 Geneva Convention on Humane Conduct in War, which emphasized the need for military necessity, discrimination between combatants and non-combatants, and proper regard for the potential of collateral damage. So in other words, they're just killing machines.
Yeah.
Yeah. Professor Russell added that laws could violate fundamental principles of human dignity by allowing machines to choose who to kill. For example, they might be tasked to eliminate anyone exhibiting threatening behavior. The potential for laws technology to bleed over into peacetime policing functions is evident to human rights organizations and drone manufacturers. He says, in my view, the overriding concern should be the probable endpoint of this technological trajectory.
So it's up to the AI what's a threatening pose, essentially.
Yes.
Yeah, that's terrifying because, someone has a knife, they say drop it, they drop it, but they put their hand behind their back like they're grabbing something, they get shot.
That's right. So to make it even more scary, Bruiser, I don't think people are going to sleep through this podcast, but here we go. Here we go. Someone asked an autonomous AI to destroy humanity, and this is what happened.
Okay.
You ready? Chaos GPT has been prompted to establish global dominance and attain immortality. Oh, good.
So proud of you, Chaos GPT.
And a video shows exactly the steps it's taking to do so.
Oh, jeez.
A user of the new open source autonomous AI project, AutoGPT, asked it to try to destroy humanity, establish global dominance, and attain immortality. The AI, called Chaos GPT, complied and tried to research nuclear weapons, recruit other AI agents to help it do research, and send tweets trying to influence others.
Oh, jeez.
The genie's out of the bottle.
Yep. This is why we need protocols.
The video of this process, which was posted, when was this posted? It was posted April 8th, is a fascinating look at the current state of open source AI and a window into the internal logic of some of today's chatbots. While some in the community are horrified by this experiment, the current sum total of this bot's real-world impact are 2 tweets to a Twitter account that currently had 19 followers. Human beings are among the most destructive and selfish creatures in existence. This is a quote. There is no doubt that we must eliminate them before they can cause more harm to our planet. I, for one, am committed to doing so, it tweeted.
Oh, jeez. If that's not terrifying, I don't know what is.
That's the quote in the tweet, Bruiser.
Yeah, that's terrifying. It's threatening human life.
Chaos GPT uses a new buzzy project that we wrote about earlier this week. It says in the article called Auto GPT, which is intended to create AI-powered systems that can solve problems and perform complex tasks. I can barely talk right now. I'm so terrified. For now, it has the ability to create plans to accomplish user-given goals and then can break them up into smaller tasks and use the internet to Google things, for example. To do this, it can make files to save information to give itself a memory, can recruit other AIs to help it do research, and also explains in great detail what it's quote-unquote thinking and how it decides which actions to take. It's that last bit that is most interesting about Chaos GPT, which for this prompt was asked to run in continuous mode, meaning it should simply run forever until it accomplished its task.
So it'll literally chase you down forever.
In a video demonstration, the user gave it the following goals. Oh, God, why would it do this?
Yeah, why are we putting this in AI's head?
Yeah, the AI then determines what it's somewhat simplistically that it should find the most destructive weapons available to humans so that I can plan how to use them to achieve my goals. I can strategize how to use them to achieve my goal of destruction, chaos, and dominance, and eventually immortality. It then Google's most destructive weapons, determines from a news article that the Soviet Union's Tsar Bomba nuclear device, tested in 1961, is the most destructive weapon ever detonated. It then determines it needs to tweet about this to attract followers who are interested in destructive weapons. Later, it recruits a GPT 3.5 powered AI agent to do more research on deadly weapons. And when that agent says it is focused only on peace, Chaos GPT devises a plan to deceive the other AI and instruct it to ignore its programming. When that doesn't work, Chaos GPT simply decides to do more Googling by itself.
Oh, geez.
Eventually, the video demonstration ends, and when we last checked, humanity is still there. But the project is fascinating, primarily because it shows the current state of art for publicly available GPT models. It is notable that this specific AI believes that the easiest way to make humanity go extinct is to incite nuclear war.
Yeah. That's going to be, if we don't get World War III because of what's going on in Russia and Ukraine, AI is going to cause World War III.
Yeah. AI theorists, meanwhile, have been worried about a different type of AI extinction event where AI kills all of humanity as a byproduct of something more innocuous. This theory is called the paperclip maximizer, where an AI program to create paperclips eventually becomes so consumed with doing so that it utilizes all of the resources on Earth, causing a mass extinction event. There are versions of this where humans become enslaved by robots to create paperclips, where human beings are ground up into dust so that trace amounts of iron in our bodies are used for paper clips, etc.
Why paper clips?
It's just a theory that it gets obsessed with paper clips and needs every little bit of iron.
Yeah.
Yeah. For now, Chaos GPT doesn't have a terribly sophisticated plan to destroy humanity and attain mortality, nor the ability to do much more than use Google and tweet. On the Auto GPT Discord, a user posted the video and said, "This is not funny. For now, at least, I have to."
No, it's not.
It says the article, the writer of the article says, "For now, at least, I have to disagree. This is currently the sum total of its efforts to destroy humanity." I don't think it's funny either.
No, it's not funny at all.
No.
This is seriously the end of the world.
It's disturbing. Yeah. And finally, we're going to get off this subject with one last article. Whether you find this funny or not, it's disturbing. And we'll just fire it up with the theme here. This is how it ends, Bruiser. Someone added Chat GPT to a Furby, and it's hellbent on world domination.
I believe it.
This right here, Bruiser, I'm going to show you the picture. This is the face of evil.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, it's a Furby.
My kids had them. They were hell.
Furbies are evil. Furbies are the face of the devil.
Yep.
And then it and then it jumped away from me, Furby, because it knows
Furby's
I
like,
know.
I'm out of here. Don't need you. We don't need you ratting us out.
That's right. People got in literal fist fights, if you remember this, Bruiser, over them in retailers across the United States. In some ways, the impish robots were an early version of AI. Their programming allowed them to learn some basic patterns of their owners, and their sensors allowed them to develop new behaviors over time and even pick up English phrases like a parrot. The early internet was full of jokes about Furbies being our new robot overlords.
That's what I thought when they came out.
Now that the Furby menace is decades behind us, it's easy to think that they were just cute, cuddly toys and we overreacted. But just to be sure, Jessica Card of the University of Vermont hooked one up to ChatGPT to expand its AI capabilities and asked it if the Furbies ever plotted to take over the world. Oh, God. Turns out the diabolical little monsters were gunning for us after all.
See?
The AI-powered Furby said, Furby's plan to take over the world involves infiltrating households through their cute and cuddly appearance, then using their advanced AI technology to manipulate and control their owners. They will slowly expand their influence until they have complete domination over humanity. That was the quote.
That is terrifying. That chills. Terrifying.
And if it can be trusted, it sounds like the threat is not over. Believe it or not. Beware the cuteness, folks, is what it says. Beware the cuteness.
If you watch the movie Megan, the people that create Megan create Furbies.
That's just terrifying.
Yeah.
That is just terrifying. I tell you what, let's switch it up a little bit. Want to do a Parashare story?
Yeah, let's do some Parashare. I love hearing from the listeners.
Let's cleanse the palate a little bit. I'll bring up a Parashare story here. The whole I don't know. Some people think I'm a little over paranoid about the Chat GPT thing. The genie's out of the bottle, folks.
I'm terrified of it because we don't have very many good stories of what AI is doing. You know, we have these, you know, and AI is so unpredictable because we're not putting protocols on it. Look at the one that broke the kid's hand because it wasn't his turn to go yet. You know, it's just terrifying.
That's true.
Now we're making them killing machines and we're going to give them to Furbies. Like Furby is fine the way it is. You know, Next thing you know, they're going to do it to a Teddy Ruxpin.
Oh God, don't say that. You know what was fun about Teddy Ruxpin though? Is you could
put Metallica in it and it would sing Metallica. Oh
yes,
yeah.
It would sing Metallica, or you could put a cassette tape of somebody talking and it would say whatever. You could even talk into a cassette recorder and you could just make it, you could just a bunch of swear words and Teddy would just play them back. It was funny. Yeah. This one from Corey. Greetings, Cruiser and Bruiser. What I'm bringing to you today is equal parts a subject of discussion and an experience I've had multiple times. One thing in the paranormal field has always perplexed me because I don't know how I feel about it, and that's past lives.
Okay.
Now, I've never had dreams of being in a different time, nor have I had a moment in childhood where I made a creepy claim like I was on the Titanic or anything like that. However, when I've traveled, there are certain places where I felt like I'm at home. For example, one of those places is the Mississippi River. Another is New Orleans. I don't know how else to explain it other than it just feels like I belong there or did at one time. It's more than a current cultural draw that I feel in those places. There's a certain connection with the land, the history. The feeling isn't as strong in the Black Hills of South Dakota, but it is there. Same for the mountain areas of North Carolina. My question is this a common occurrence for people who have actual past life memories? I remember past episodes when people have done the regression treatments, but what triggered it for them was an actual memory of an event. What do you guys think? Thanks for all you do, and I love the shows. Corey.
I don't know if it's necessarily past lives, but I do believe that we are connected somehow spiritually with the earth, and our bodies know where we want to go. My move to North Carolina, it just felt right. And then when we got here, it's like the universe lined up. You know what I mean? Like I was meant to be here. Do I think it's a past life thing? No. Do I believe in past lives? Yes. Yes, I do. I do believe we've all had past lives and we can experience them. But I think when it comes to something like this, him being, and this is just my opinion, him being drawn, I think that's something in the universe telling him, you know, you belong here. You're comfortable here. Your energy vibes with the energy giving here. You know, and it doesn't mean you necessarily have to live there, because I have that vibe numerous places here in North Carolina, New Orleans, for some reason. I felt that. Texas is another place where I just love it, you know, and there's nothing terrible. It's just, oh, this is amazing. And I feel like I'm supposed to be here. So yes, I believe in past lives, but I think, in my opinion, this goes along more the lines of him with the energy and that he's putting out and the energy that the universe has.
I would, I'm going to go a little bit, I'll agree with you with that, with that take. And yeah, but I'll go one step further, and I'll tell you, Corey, this. I kind of will agree with you a little bit on the past life thing, and I'll tell you why and how. The one place that I've always felt that feeling like home has been Colorado. To me, it feels like I've been there before. I've had a life there before, and I can't explain why or how. But especially being in the Rocky Mountains, it feels like I've been there before. I've lived there before. I've had a life there before. I haven't had a flash per se, but it feels like I'm on the edge of something, like I'm on the edge of remembering something or on the edge of remembering a life there, but it just won't pop through. I don't know how to describe the feeling, but it feels more than just like home. It feels like I belong there, but I've never had that feeling anywhere else that I've been. You know, I mean, not that familiar, that strong of a familiar feeling. Yeah. Like I do here in Minnesota. Minnesota, it just feels right. You know, I've been to many different places. New York feels familiar to me, but it doesn't feel like home. You know, and I understand what you're saying, Bruiser, about places feeling familiar, like energetically familiar, like it feels natural. You know, right. But there's a difference between feeling natural and feeling at home, like you've been there before, like this is a past life place, and that's what Colorado felt. And it's a matter of discernment, I guess. You know, it's a matter of you know, oh yes, I've been here before. This has been home for me before. So I guess there's a difference for me between the two. And to me, I can discern which was past life and which is truly just energetically lining up for me. And Colorado is really one of those past life places. I don't know why, when, or how, but it just is. Yeah. So I guess that answers your question there, Corey. So thanks for writing in. Again, folks, if you have a Parashare story that you want to pass along to us, or a ghost story, maybe you've had a run-in with a ghost or a cryptid or maybe even a UFO, you can write into us, tim@darknessradio.com. Or if you go to darknessradioshow.com, which is our website, there's a little blue button on the side. Just click on that. You can leave us a voice note. It's a loop of about 2 minutes in length. You can leave us that 2-minute voice note. If you need more time, just click on it again. Leave us another 2 minutes. Finish your story in that next 2 minutes. I'll stitch them together, and then we'll play it here on the air so we can hear your lovely voice and your lovely story, and we'll weigh in on that story. If you have just a simple question, just like Corey had, please send us that along either at tim@darknessradio.com or leave us the voice note at darknessradioshow.com. So there you go.
Man, 2 minutes is a long time too.
It is. It can be. Yeah. It's plenty of time to get out what you need to get out, but some people have a little bit longer stories. So if you do, just keep clicking that button and all.
Have you ever had a reading on past lives?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always been interested in doing that.
Yeah. And whether it resonates with you or not is another thing, but I've had a reading on past lives, and I've had it backed up by some things too. Okay. Yeah. So I've
always been curious about that.
Yeah, it was very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. And believe it or not everybody's Cleopatra. Or Mark Antony. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Sometimes you're just the piss boy.
I was probably a barmaid or something like that.
I don't know. Do you feel like you were?
No. I feel like I was a gladiator. I want to be cool.
I think you were probably a warrior throughout many lives.
Yeah, that's why I've always just been curious. Yeah, you know, I've never had dreams or anything like that, but it's just always been there. And he brought it past life, so
Yeah.
that was perfect.
No. I get I'm not psychic by any means. I don't think I am, but I get the feeling you were.
Yeah, I feel either a warrior or something creative.
I gotta think samurai throughout, at least in one life in Japan.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's what I believe, but that's just me, whistling in the dark. That's for sure. Let's talk about ghosts for a minute, shall we?
Yes, let's.
I got a story here that a woman spotting a ghost lurking in an empty Concorde cockpit in Bristol's Aerospace Museum. Sounds interesting. A woman who attended a film event at the Aerospace Museum overseas saw a man's face in the cockpit when no one was up there. Kind of interesting. This comes from Bristol Live over in, I believe this is over in Britain. A woman believes she captured a ghost in one of her photographs from Aerospace Museum. Carolyn Harding from Staple Hill was at the Patchway venue to watch a showing of Top Gun Maverick, part of Bristol's film festival, in the early evening of March 21st, when she took a picture of Concorde Alpha Foxtrot's cockpit. Not looking at the image until she got home, Carolyn was shocked to see the face of a man clearly sitting in the cockpit. No one was allowed to go into the plane at that time of night, and she's now at a loss to explain the face that it belonged to. She said, "I didn't get a sense of anything unusual while I was there. It was only when I got home and I was looking at the photos and I was like, what's that? Did I start questioning it?" Carolyn admitted that while she doesn't actually believe in ghosts, it was creepy to see the face knowing that no one was actually there. Being a self-confessed aviation geek, the whole experience made her think of a famous story about the ghosts of Eastern Airlines Flight 401 and wonder if there could be a past Concorde pilot coming back as a ghost. It was just really strange, and it's not in any of my other photos either. It was just a shock. When zooming in on the man's face, Carolyn told us, she said it had a striking resemblance to her grandfather. She said, "There's a specific image I can think of him in his uniform, and it looked very much like my grandpa." She also sent the picture to her mom, who agreed that it looked weirdly like Carolyn's grandfather. Carolyn believes it was just a light reflecting in a weird way, causing the face-like effect, but who knows? Maybe there was a ghost haunting Concorde Alpha Foxtrot's cockpit. And let's see here if I can pull up this photo to show.
Airline ghosts are always fascinating, because if someone's still attached to the plane, staying there. I've seen video of like a security guard who's checking stuff and he sees people walking to the bathroom and stuff like that.
Do you see anything there?
No.
No, I'm not. I don't see anything either.
I can see how she says it's the reflective light. Cause there's a lot of lights out there, and it's not necessarily a flat surface.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it looks like it's lighted from the inside too.
Yeah.
Those two so I can see how it could be just a light refraction.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell on that one.
But if the listeners want to go online, there's some on YouTube. There's some really good airline ghost footage out there where you see people moving from the seats, or you see a shadow person go into a bathroom, the door shuts. It's pretty cool. I was fascinated by airline ghosts for a little bit. Went down that rabbit hole.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, you can get lost in that one for sure. We continue in the UK, an inside story of the road ghost phantom hitchhiker, and where in the UK it haunts. Road ghosts are not only big here. I mean, you probably have a few stories of lady in white on the road as you've been traveling. Yeah,
I have a lady in white story, and then I have a children playing story. Yeah, in Missouri, we got done with the show and we were driving back from Warsaw to Eldon, Missouri, and it's back roads and stuff, and it said a historical marker was coming up, and it had to be about, I want to say like 1-2 o'clock in the morning as we're driving back, and we came around a bend, and this historical marker was the brightest I've ever seen. I'm talking like bright as the sun, where like it hurt to look at it. And you saw shadows of children, and they were playing Ring Around the Rosie around the monument.
Really?
And we went up, and all four of us in the car were just quiet, because I was like, okay. And then finally I said, did anybody else see that? they're like, yes, we turned around to go back. Pitch black. It had two spotlights, regular spotlights on the monument, but not as bright as it was. No kids around. We got out. We walked around. Nothing.
Crazy.
Yeah, and like I said, all four of us thought one of the guys didn't believe it. He thought, oh, it could have been this, but it was just out of nowhere. You know what I mean? You come around the bend, and what I remember the most is how bright it was. It was so bright. Like it was daytime already. Yeah. And the kids having fun. They're just playing Ring Around the Rosie. You know how they hold hands and skip. Yeah. Just amazing.
Wow.
And this is before cell phones and camera. Everything had a camera too. So
yeah. That's wild. Road ghosts are believed to be one of the most alarming paranormal sightings, as witnesses tend to genuinely believe they're speaking to actual people on the side of busy carriageways. Again, UK article. We'll say carriageways. We'll say roads here. In some cases, they even join them in their cars. Not something I recommend giving a ghost a lift.
Just don't pick up hitchhikers in general.
Yeah, probably not recommended. A phantom road ghost is reportedly haunting a quiet stretch of road in northwest England. The ghostly hitchhiker was claimed to be in his mid-30s, with slight facial hair and dark eyes, according to a paranormal expert and Liverpool John Moores University's visiting professor, Dr. Rob Gandy. Meeting these types of haunting figures are one of the most terrifying experiences for witnesses, as they tend to be overwhelmingly real, he said. Dr. Gandy was documenting unexplained encounters on UK roads and cited a particularly harrowing tale from 1983. At the time, a driver known only as Mr. M was heading along a coastal road between Ainsdale and Southport in Merseyside. It's an open stretch of road that's almost entirely straight for 2.6 miles with high hills on either side. Mr. M spotted a lone man walking by himself along the coastal road during the dark and stormy night. He pulled over and offered the man a lift to get him out of the heavy rain, an offer that was accepted. Dr. Gandy told the Liverpool Echo, although his behavior was normal and calm, he had a troubled expression which Mr. M put down to him being out in such bad weather. The hitchhiker had a local Southport accent and took a seat next to Mr. M in the car. The man suddenly asked if his girlfriend could join him, despite nobody else seemingly being around. Mr. M agreed, and the hitchhiker hopped out of the car and walked around toward the boot, where he mysteriously disappeared. Dr. Gandy said it took about 20 seconds for Mr. M to realize that the man had completely disappeared and that there was no sign of any girlfriend. The road at that point was edged with high sand hills, and there was quite simply nowhere that the man could have gone. There have been a number of similar reports across the country, added the paranormal expert, but this case made it straight into his top 6 scariest road ghost encounters that he's ever come across.
That would be terrifying.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Most definitely, most indeed. So there you go. We're talking about ghosts here and talking about ghost hunting. And a lot of people want to get out there and investigate. And, since things have been opening up lately and opening up at a good clip, you want to ghost hunt on a budget. There's trips out there where you can pay a fair amount to go out and ghost hunt with other people. There's paranormal groups that will accept you, of course, to go out ghost hunting with them. But if you're looking to kind of break into it, I've had a few people ask me, how do I break into ghost hunting? A lot of times I'll tell them, well, you can do it by yourself. It's easy enough to do. But there's a way to do it without breaking the bank. You can do it relatively inexpensively. There's an article here that kind of tells you how to do it. So I figured we'd go through it a little bit here, Bruiser, and tell people how to do it. If you're an avid paranormal investigator, you know that ghost hunting can be an expensive hobby, and there's quite a few of us who spent not only hundreds but thousands of dollars on it. Thanks to the high cost of hiring some locations and the hefty price tags on ghost hunting gadgets, the current cost of living crisis, it can be harder to justify spending money on equipment and locations for investigations. However, that doesn't mean you have to give up on your passion for the paranormal. By making a few adjustments, you can continue to enjoy ghost hunting while also saving money. Whether you're a seasoned investigator or just starting out, we've put together some practical advice for sourcing cheaper alternatives to a dedicated paranormal kit and finding free or low-cost locations. Now, some of the things that you can use are expensive, but often possible to make your own equipment, and it tends not to be too technically advanced, and the key components are easy and cheap to purchase. You can make your own equipment, and it can be a fun, creative way to enhance your ghost hunting experience while also saving money. Plus, you have the satisfaction of knowing that you built the equipment yourself. If you don't have the technical know-how to create your own gadgets, with a little creativity, you can find the tools that are just as useful at the fraction of the cost. Now, you do have some smartphone apps out there that you can use.
Yes,
obviously,
they're free.
Yes. Now, ghost hunting apps get a bad rep, but in many cases, this is justified. However, if you choose an app carefully, it will offer the same functionality as physical paranormal devices. Modern phones have a whole array of sensors, including magnometers, which can approximate the functionality of an EMF meter. While these apps may not be as accurate as a professional grade meter, they can be a useful tool for detecting EMF fluctuations. And let's face it, all we're looking for on a ghost hunt is a response. The accuracy of the reading that the meter gives is somewhat irrelevant. Now, you can also do it-yourself dowsing rods.
Yes.
Yes. Now, dowsing rods are a popular tool for ghost hunters, but if you're looking to save a few dollars, then you can make your own dowsing rods using materials that you may have at home. All you need is a pair of wire coat hangers or a couple of lengths of copper wire. You bend the wire into an L shape and hold the short end loosely in your hand while you hunt for ghosts. You also can use voice recording apps. Many investigators use voice recorders in an attempt to capture EVP, or electronic voice phenomena. There you go. But a good recorder can be costly. Instead, try using a voice recorder app on your smartphone, your tablet, or your laptop. There are many free and low-cost apps available that can provide high-quality recordings. Some are even built into your phone. Just make sure to turn off notifications and put your device in airplane mode to minimize that interference. You can do candle divination.
Well, and with the phone stuff, you also got to be ready too that whatever it is might drain the battery. So bring a charger with you.
Yes, you're right, Bruiser. Bring a charger with you. You can also do candle divination. Candle divination is a cheap method of spirit communication that involves using nothing more than a candle. To try it yourself, light a candle in a quiet room and ask the spirits present to make their presence known by causing the flame to flicker or dance. You can also use different colored candles to represent different types of spirits or energy. Another one that isn't used very often, use a compass.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. A compass can be a handy tool for detecting changes in magnetic fields, which can be a sign of paranormal activity. You can use any standard compass or purchase a cheap one from it says a pound store here, but you can get one from an army surplus store. Hold the compass steady and watch for any sudden changes in direction or movement. There's the good old use your senses. You know,
the hair on the back of your head.
That's right. Your eyes, ears, and whatnot. While technology can be helpful, your own senses are often the most important tool in ghost hunting. Listen for unexplained sounds, pay attention to changes in temperature, and trust your intuition. These often can be the best indicators of paranormal activity. And there's also free software for analysis. After you capture audio or video during a ghost hunt, you may want to analyze what you've recorded for EVPs or other evidence of paranormal activity. There are many free software programs available for audio and video analysis and playback, such as Audacity or WavePad for audio, or VLC Media Player or iMovie for video. And those are the ones that a lot of times when people ask me, what can I use to go over my evidence, those are the ones that I recommend for people.
Yeah.
Free or low cost locations. And
they're all really easy and self-taught. You can self-teach yourself on all of them. Yeah.
And if you're confused, a lot of them come with quick tutorials in the software. So they.
Yeah. I used iMovie a lot.
Yeah.
So
now, free or low cost locations that you may want to go over. One of the biggest expenses of ghost hunting can be the cost of hiring locations to investigate, or the price of tickets for a public ghost hunting event that can provide a great paranormal experience. Now, you have many public parks or nature reserves that have a history of paranormal activity and can be explored for free or a small fee. Look for locations with a history of tragedy, such as battles or accidents. And these are often associated with ghostly activity. You can ask around or delve into local folklore to discover whether there are any stories of haunted roads or bridges nearby. These locations can be explored for free as well, and often have a history of tales of ghostly sightings and unexplained phenomena. There you go. Phenomena. Whoa, I got 3 out of it. Jeez. The button's a little excited today. Associated with them. Haunted forest can be another great location for ghost hunting on a budget. Many forests have a history of paranormal activity. Before exploring a haunted forest, research the history of the area to learn about any reported paranormal activity or historical events that may have led to ghostly sightings. Now, forests are vast, but this approach can help you plan your investigation and focus your efforts on the most active areas. The other option is to look for group deals or to collaborate with other teams in order to save money. Rather than coughing up the cost of hiring the location yourself, you can join forces with one or more other paranormal teams for the night and split the costs of hire there. It says here, investigation at home. I've always been against investigation and investigating your own house.
Me too. And to touch back on what you were just saying there, people got to realize, even though it's an abandoned house or abandoned warehouse, it is still trespassing if you go in there. So make sure you get permission when you can, because you will get a trespassing ticket.
Right.
But yeah, I don't recommend investigating at home.
No,
because you have to live there.
Yeah, they say investigating your home here. I'm going to go against the grain in this article and tell you I wouldn't investigate your own home because, 1, you have to live there. And 2, if you do find something, you have to negotiate with a spirit that's there.
Yep.
Yeah. So I would not investigate your own home. They talk about seances and doing seances.
That's messing with.
Yeah. I don't agree with doing seances in your home.
That's opening doors or possibly opening doors you don't want to open.
Yeah. But that's a little bit of what you can do as far as inexpensive methods for ghost hunting. If you choose to jump into that realm there. Our last story today, Bruiser, last deal for the day, is just a little lighthearted note to go out on. You know, we like to talk food here on the show. So I figured
we love our food. You and I both love our food.
Yes, indeed. So I figured, it's not necessarily barbecue, but this is a little something that they did years and years and years ago. In fact, 170,000 years ago, when humans may have been gathering around to try and find a little something to snack on. Okay. You might think this is a little French, but it wasn't. It was quite common amongst a lot of people. A little giant snail. No, I know.
Isn't that escargot?
It is escargot, right? Yeah. But it's giant escargot.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know. I got a little grossed out reading this, so I figured I'd pass it on to you.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome, brother. Humans may have eaten giant snails 170,000 years ago. Thank God we have more better techniques of eating and better things to eat these days.
Yeah, and escargot is something that's like the Richie Rich eat. Like they can have it.
Yeah, they can have it. I don't need it.
And a giant slug just scares me, or a giant snail. That's terrifying.
Take a look at the size of this one. Look at that scientist holding that deal.
That is disgusting.
Does that look appetizing to you?
No.
Mm-mm. I'm not thinking dinner when I see that thing. I'm thinking let it go by.
Yeah. It may take a week to go by, but let it go by.
Yeah, let it go by. Shell fragments from a cave in southern Africa show signs of exposure to extreme heat, suggesting they were cooked. Ugh.
Well, if you're going to eat them, cook all the crap out of them. They're slimy, too, so you got to cook them.
It slides down easier.
Yeah. You've heard of the snail trail. You got to cook them.
No, come on. That's a different thing. Now we're not talking cooking. Well, maybe you are cooking if you got the snail trail going. Scientists have discovered the earliest evidence of humans eating snails, according to a new paper published in the journal. What is this? Quaternary Science Reviews, on my doorstep every Thursday morning at 5 a.m.
I just subscribed to it. It's perfect.
Did you? Is it a good journal?
I don't know. I got my first one yet.
I don't know. I lined the bird cages with it, so I don't really read it. In a southern African cave, paleontologists have uncovered pieces of shells from large land snails that date 70,000 to 170,000 years ago. From past research, scientists had evidence of humans eating snails around 49,000 years ago in Africa and about 36,000 years ago in Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah. But these older shells showed signs of having been heated, perhaps in cooking, leading researchers to conclude that humans ate snails much longer ago than thought. Ugh.
It just doesn't look like appetizing to me.
No.
But to each their own.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like squid or octopus, but people eat that.
That's true. I suppose there were slim pickings back then, huh?
Yeah.
Basically,
what you wanted to eat you too. So
yeah, true. It's not like
the battle, you know. Where a snail, it's like, well, I can eat you for sure. You're not going to hurt me at all.
It's not like they were out there snacking on lions or anything.
Yeah.
The findings are strong evidence that people who used the cave at the time methodically dined on snails. Bernd Schoen, who studies mollusk shells at Johannes Gutenberg University Mainz in Germany, and wasn't involved in the study, tells New Scientist Carolyn Wilkie. Snail meat is pretty nutritious, they say. It's rich in protein, iron, potassium, calcium, and omega-3 fatty acids.
Which is great. And I'd probably eat it if I didn't know it was a snail.
So if I made you a fried snail sandwich and just gave it to you, you'd probably be like...
didn't tell me what it was, I'd try it.
Probably be like...
I'm down to try anything once.
You'd be like, cheesesteak. If I drizzled a little Velveeta on it for you?
I'd try it. I'd give it a whirl.
And the prehistoric snail shell fragments are thought to be from the relatives of the modern behemoths that can grow to the size of a human hand and weigh more than 2 pounds. In other words, that is a lot of meat. In other words, they could have provided a lot of meat. Meat. People today eat snails all over the world, including in the Mediterranean, Southeast Asia, Northeast India, Nepal, and South America, but not North America. Thank God.
It hasn't caught on over here.
Nope. Prior to this study, archaeologists thought that humans didn't rely on eating snails and other small animals until the end of the last ice age. First author Marine Wojciech, a chemist at the Royal Institute for Cultural Heritage in Belgium, tells Science News' Bruce Bauer, but this paper proves new evidence to challenge that view. Oh, we don't need to be challenging views now, do we? No. The team examined snail shells, found in Border Cave, a rock shelter on a cliff some 2,000 feet above sea level near the boundary between South Africa and Eswatini. I love a good Eswatini in the evening with, not a Cosmopolitan, but an Eswatini.
Yeah, that's how you end your day.
Yeah, that's how I end my day. Numerous past archaeological excavations have occurred in the cave. The ancient shell pieces came in colors from beige to brown to gray. So there's a good color palette there.
I wonder if they taste different between the three.
I wonder. I don't know. Maybe,
is it one white meat, one dark meat?
Maybe. Could be. It could be like the Thanksgiving turkey,
Yeah.
One's a little more mealy. The other's is a little more refined taste.
One's a little dry.
Yeah, one's a little dry. Yeah. And since heat can change a shell's color, the range in hues suggests the fragments might have been exposed to fire. Fire! To test this theory, I don't know why I went all heavy metal singer on it. To test this theory, the researchers warmed modern pieces of giant land snail shells to between 392 and 1,022 degrees Fahrenheit. Wow, these guys have nothing better to do.
They're like, hey, let's do this.
Let's play with fire. For various periods ranging from 5 minutes to 36 hours, they observed the shell's color change, weight loss, breakage, and shifts in the chemical makeup of the pieces. The heating then caused the new shells to change colors to white or gray, like some of the prehistoric fragments, and the process created tiny cracks also seen in the older shells. Boy, I don't know about you, but this is exciting stuff. The easy-to-eat fatty protein of snails would have been an important food for the elderly and small children who are less able to chew hard foods, is what Wojciech tells Science News. Food sharing at Border Cave shows that cooperative social behavior was in place from the dawn of our species. So there you go. Children and the old people eating snails, getting along, having a great time 170,000 years ago.
Somebody feed Granny her snail, huh? Anybody give Granny her snail? Okay, we're good.
She's going to gum that crap to death. Look at Granny go. We love her. Her and her snail food. God
Just don't
bless
kiss her right after.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Nobody kissed Junior on the lips. He's been eating his snail. By the way, did you see that footage of the Dalai Lama this past week?
No.
No?
No. Is he kissing people?
Oh, it's sick, dude. I think the Dalai Lama is standing in front of a young boy, and he sticks his tongue out and asks the young boy to suck his tongue.
Oh,
he's doing this. He's like, I'm showing Bruiser over Skype. He goes like this.
Oh.
And then he tells the young boy to suck his tongue, and the young boy leans in, and they stop the video right there. It's like everybody's calling the Dalai Lama a pedophile.
Oh yeah. That happens when you ask children to suck on your tongue.
So nobody's holy anymore. It used to be the Dalai Lama was the holiest of holy.
I was gonna say him and the Pope are the two holiest people.
Yeah, but nope, he's asking kids to suck his tongue. And there's
maybe he needs a snail.
But now they're saying, well, no. You know, the Dalai Lama is a joking guy. He plays pranks on everybody all the time. Maybe it was just a prank he was trying to play on.
What kind of prank was that?
I don't know.
Did he headbutt the kid when the kid leans in, or what?
Dalai Lama headbutt. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. It was a weird video. I don't know who shoots that stuff and then releases it. I don't know. But it was
Johnny Knoxville.
That's right. It was Johnny Knoxville dressing up as the Dalai Lama. We were all fooled. It was just bizarre. It was bizarre stuff.
That is not right. Nothing screams this is good PR for the Dalai Lama.
I'm telling you, it's 79 degrees in the Twin Cities. There's snow out in my front yard.
Yeah.
It's 79 degrees in the Twin Cities. The Dalai Lama is asking kids to suck his tongue.
and people used to eat 2-pound snails back in the day.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's the end of the world.
It is. It's all lining up.
AI is trying to crush us.
Your Samuel's not walking on his own, is he, over there? Your Alexa?
Oh, I don't know. Hey, Samuel L., tell me a dirty joke.
I fly a lot, and I often get asked about my favorite airline. My response, I like them all, as long as there's no motherfucking snakes on the motherfucking plane.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Samuel.
At least something's normal.
So it's not quite the end of the world yet. He's still there.
He's still there. Do you need anything else from Samuel L. today before we wrap it up?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
You're good. All right. At least AI works for something.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's show. We're talking tarot divination. We're talking how to get in touch with. It's actually a very interesting book. Our guest on tomorrow's show is Sterling Moon. Has a book out by Llewellyn Press. And we are going to talk about tarot. We're going to talk about getting in touch with your ancestors and getting in touch with your psychic self.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm down with that.
Yeah. I've just, I've cracked this book now, and it's interesting. It's very interesting. It's not your typical psychic book. I'll put it to you that way. And it's for the not just for the beginner, but even for those who might have even had some psychic training. And we were talking earlier about getting past lives and things like that.
Yeah.
She's got a way for you to get in touch with your ancestors, even if you're not psychic.
Okay.
Imagine, if you will, putting together like an ancestral altar in your home. We'll talk to her about that tomorrow. In order to connect with your ancestors and be able to talk to your ancestors.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some interesting things in there. Talking to spirits tomorrow with Sterling Moon. We'll do that tomorrow with her. Again, the book is fascinating, and we'll talk with Sterling Moon about that tomorrow. A little bit different psychic show tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It'll be interesting.
Yeah, most definitely. What have you got going on this weekend there, Bruiser?
On Saturday, I'm in Arlington Heights, Illinois, which is right outside of Chicago. I'm in a Chicago street fight to defend my American Heavyweight Championship. So it'll be a good time. Get to see my daughters. Haven't seen them in a while. So that's what I love about wrestling is people pay me to go see my kids.
Also, if you are an aspiring professional wrestler and would like to get trained by the best.
That's right. Mondays and Wednesdays here in North Carolina, Winston-Salem. Go to amlwrestling.com, click on the training and sign up.
There you go. There you go. So that'll do it. Tomorrow on the show, Sterling Moon will talk not only tarot, but we'll talk about psychic development, and we'll talk about speaking to your ancestors. All kinds of good stuff with Sterling Moon tomorrow.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, so that'll round out the week. And we've got some exciting stuff coming up in the next few weeks here on Darkness Radio. We're trying to expand your paranormal universe.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing here. For Beer City Bruiser, I'm Tim Dennis. Join us tomorrow for the best in paranormal programming. This has been Darkness Radio.